the men's coxed 4, and Britain in lane 4, nearest to us. Britain's best chance of a medal in these games got off to a very good start. Great Britain in lane 4, nearest to the cameras. Then in lane 3, the United States. In lane 2, Japan. And furthest from the camera in lane 1, New Zealand. The winners of each heat direct to the final. And Great Britain with their eyes set on taking that qualification. Martin Cross at bow, Richard Budgett at 2, Andy Holmes 3, and Steve Redgrave the stroke, Adrian Ellison the cox. Mike Spracklin, their coach, says the crew are in excellent form and have been rowing well while they've been here. That's the number 4. That is the number to look for, the Great Britain coxed 4.
Number 3.
United States lost by a length to Britain at Lucerne, which has been the great form guide this season, but it was a different 4. That 4 was beaten in the United States trials by a pickup crew formed only a month previously, and that is the 4 that's competing here. Britain and the United States just about level. 2,000 meters, about 1.25 miles. Still hardly a whisper of wind. Water warm, the air temperature hot. We're up now into the 80s. Adrian Ellison, the cox, you saw. Martin Cross at bow, Richard Budgett, and Britain and the United States with nothing between them at all. The Americans, typically with a big crew, the lightest of their men is just under 14 stone, and yet even then the British 4 outweighs the Americans in total by about 15 pounds. But the United States have a small lead over Great Britain. United States, Brett Hollister, their cox, was the cox. Sorry, that's the New Zealand 4. This is the Americans we are seeing. John Stilling's their cox, and at the 1,500 meter mark, Britain had just a 1/5 of a second advantage over the Americans. But the Americans since then have put on the pressure, and they lead by about half a length. United States rate 36. That's halfway. United States leading Great Britain in the second heat of the men's coxed 4. British crew have had victories this season at Mannheim, at Essen and Lucerne, and they were second in a borrowed boat to East Germany at Grunau. They've beaten all their main rivals except the unknown quantity of New Zealand, who are rowing in the far lane and seeming at this stage not to offer a threat. It's between Britain and the United States. Adrian Ellison the cox, then Martin Cross at bow, Richard Budgett, Andy Holmes and Stephen Redgrave. Still no more than 1/3 of a length in it. 1.5 seconds. It's the halfway timing. Coming up now towards 750 meters from home. It's been a very early start for the crews. They were up at 4 o'clock this morning. They're living at the University of California at Santa Barbara, more than an hour away. They've been training and acclimatizing to these conditions and these times since they arrived about a month ago. And Britain now beginning to put on the pressure. 500 meters to go and nothing between Britain and the United States. Britain now marginally in front. Britain number 4 lane, the United States 3. And this is going to be a very close finish, and that's going to excite this grandstand. The American fans solidly behind their representatives in these games after the tremendous start they had on the first day. But Britain here giving an account of themselves, letting it be known that this is an event in which Britain has a claim. The winners straight through to the final. The remainders go into a repechage from which the first 4 will also qualify. But this is a very impressive performance by Britain. The 1500-meter mark, a fifth of a second down, but since then they've really applied the pressure. Britain now with only about 50 meters to go. Britain a quarter of a length, third of a length maybe. So there is a victory for Great Britain at the end of the second heat of the men's coxed fours. Probably our best medal chance looking in medal form.